Robin Roberts embodies a radiant force in American broadcasting. She is the individual who transformed Good Morning America into a sanctuary of truth, warmth, and unyielding fortitude for countless viewers over many years. Her exceptional ability to narrate stories, her unwavering determination, and her profound emotional insight elevated her beyond the conventional role of a journalist. She became the steadfast anchor to whom America turned when the world felt unstable. From the modest origins in Mississippi to the pinnacle of national broadcasting, she demonstrated that extraordinary achievement can spring from simplicity, disciplined effort, and a spirit prepared to confront any adversity. Yet beneath this remarkable journey lies a history etched with challenges. Robin triumphed over the ordeal of breast cancer, subsequently enduring the life-threatening impact of MDS, an illness that brought her perilously close to the brink. And now, at 65 years of age, a new struggle is confronting her directly. It is a formidable and relentless adversary poised to shatter the very foundation she has dedicated a lifetime to fortifying. Before we delve into the heart of this challenge, please consider showing your appreciation with a like. This small gesture honors a woman who has consistently persevered, irrespective of how bleak or unforgiving the circumstances have become. Roberts, a distinguished member of the Tuskegee Airmen, carried unspoken recollections etched in the rigid posture of his shoulders and the distant gaze of his eyes. Her mother, Lucy Marion, wove faith, music, and affection into the fabric of a life influenced by military demands, softening its edges without diminishing its essence. Growing up at the intersection of a nurturing mother and a father seasoned by conflict, Robin learned from the tender age of 5 that strength was not a given, but a necessity. The household was filled with love, certainly, but beneath that affection lay the subdued tension of a man who had witnessed profound human suffering and a woman resolute in elevating her children above a world capable of unexpected cruelty. Her earliest recollections were not of carefree laughter, but of the unbending order of a military home, where the most minor duty held significance and tasks were never performed with less than full commitment. As the youngest in the family, she felt deeply cherished yet also closely observed. She was molded, guided, and at times challenged more intensely than she understood. My parents instilled in us the 3 Ds: discipline, determination, and divinity, she would later reflect. These were not mere suggestions, but principles woven into the very essence of her formative years. Excuses were unaccepted, weakness was not tolerated, and the world beyond their doorstep offered no solace. Alabama and Mississippi in the 1960s bore the subtle yet sharp realities of segregation, where gazes lingered unnecessarily and opportunities were dictated by one's identity. By the age of 10, Robin already understood the sensation of being overlooked, underestimated, or judged before she had spoken a word. The subtle sting of prejudice did not diminish her spirit. Instead, it honed her resolve. When the family eventually established their home in Pass Christian, Mississippi, Robin found herself in a coastal community possessing both stunning beauty and a harsh, unforgiving nature. Life there was modest and unpretentious, overshadowed by the perpetual threat of severe weather. She was merely 8 years old when Hurricane Camille devastated the Gulf Coast in 1969, a night of fury etched into the collective memory of the region. She witnessed rooftops peeling away like paper, trees splintering into fragments, and neighbors desperately clinging to whatever remnants of their lives the tempest had not claimed. The following morning, she navigated streets strewn with shattered glass, broken branches, and fragmented memories. These storms were more than natural phenomena. They served as stark, unforgiving instructors. They revealed how swiftly security could evaporate, how easily certainty could crumble, and how survival demanded courage long before comfort became attainable. She absorbed these lessons not with fear, but with a quiet fortitude that settled deep within her young being. Yet, amidst the strict discipline, the formidable storms, the unspoken weight of her father's past, and the harsh social landscape of the Deep South, something extraordinary began to form within her. Robin excelled academically, graduating as salutatorian in 1979, and her passion for athletics ignited with an intensity that suggested a lifetime of pent-up energy yearning for release. Basketball and tennis were not mere pastimes. They represented her escape, her transformation, and her defiance against forces seeking to limit her. Coaches recognized her drive, educators acknowledged her intellect, friends noted her compassion. But only Robin comprehended the inner strength being forged within her, tempered by the rigorous military upbringing, societal barriers, and a world where natural disasters could obliterate a childhood in a single night. These early adversities did not weaken her. They forged the unyielding character of a woman destined to stand firm, regardless of the intensity of the challenges she would face. The world did not merely decline to open its doors to Robin Roberts, it slammed them shut with such vehemence that, by the age of 22, she learned to force her way through the narrowest of openings with trembling, scraped hands and an unyielding spirit. In 1982, having recently earned her degree from Southeastern Louisiana University, she possessed little more than her diploma and fervent aspiration and the unwavering principles her parents had instilled. However, upon venturing into the realm of broadcasting, she encountered a stark reality she had never before experienced. Her initial position in 1983 at WRKQ in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, offered such meager compensation that she would later wryly remark, "I earned more money babysitting in college." Yet, beneath the jest lay a profound struggle. She worked 12 to 14 hours daily, driven by the stark understanding that no one in that newsroom believed a young black woman could succeed, let alone flourish, in sports journalism. "I knew I had to be twice as good simply to be considered an equal," she would recall. Years later, her voice steady, yet her eyes still reflecting the lingering impact of those early struggles. During those years, her hunger was not for sustenance, but for achievement, an insatiable ambition that kept her awake well past midnight. Funds were critically scarce. She drove aging, used vehicles that sputtered, coughed, and occasionally stalled on deserted Mississippi backroads after late-night assignments. She resided in cramped, drafty apartments where winter winds seeped under the doors, chilling her to the bone. Activating the heating was an unaffordable luxury, risking a budget deficit. There were nights when rainwater dripped through a warped window frame, creating a rhythmic patter on the carpet, and Robin sat at her small kitchen table, head in her hands, whispering to herself, "Hold on, Robin, just hold on, you're not quitting now." While not homeless, she was profoundly isolated. At 23, 24, and 25 years old, she battled exhaustion and fear while clinging to a dream that few others could perceive. Her life teetered precariously on short-term contracts that could vanish instantaneously with a minor shift in management, and on more than one occasion they almost did. She uprooted her entire existence repeatedly, moving from Hattiesburg to Biloxi in 1984, then to Nashville in 1986, followed by Atlanta in 1988. Each relocation stripped her bare. No friends, no familiar faces, no support system, just another town where she had to prove from scratch that she merited a place in the very profession she cherished. She carried her own camera equipment, drove herself to rural high school stadiums, set up tripods in mud, meticulously wrote every script by hand, and edited late into the night long after the newsroom lights had been extinguished. She became her own cinematographer, her own producer, her own chauffeur, not out of ambition, but out of sheer necessity for survival. She never forgot the sting of a particular moment in 1987 when a male colleague brushed past her and muttered, "Sports isn't a place for women." On another occasion, an athlete snickered as she entered a locker room carrying a microphone. And though the humiliation cut deeply, she later remarked, "I learned early on not to let someone else's disbelief become my reality." There were nights she traversed hundreds of miles along deserted southern highways, her old car rattling in the wind, headlights carving luminous paths through the darkness. Tears blurred her vision. Exhaustion constricted her chest, and she gripped the steering wheel, praying she would not succumb to sleep. She whispered into the darkness, "One day they'll see me. One day I won't have to prove I belong." Coaches dismissed her. Athletes underestimated her. Some viewers questioned why a black woman was covering sports. But Robin had weathered storms far older and far more intense, storms of a fractured South, storms of discipline from a military upbringing, storms of expectation. And gradually, each rejection transformed into fuel. Each closed door became a challenge. Each doubt ignited a spark. Atlanta marked a turning point. Covering the Braves at the age of 28 brought her recognition, credibility, and for the first time, forward momentum. It was there in the late 1980s that she realized she was no longer seeking validation, she was becoming irrefutable. And when ESPN finally extended an offer in 1990, presenting her with the opportunity she had diligently pursued for 7 arduous years, it was not a matter of chance. It was the culmination of every solitary mile, every indignity, every frigid night, every whispered plea. She entered the ESPN newsroom not as someone who had been handed an opportunity, but as a woman who had painstakingly earned every step of her ascent. Heartbreak by heartbreak, those arduous early years did not break her. They forged her into a woman the world would never again dare to disregard. Success rarely arrives with immediate fanfare. At times, it waits until an individual has endured sufficient trials to truly merit it. And when Robin Roberts joined ABC News in 1995 at 35 years of age, armed with nothing but the resilience forged through years of fighting for a place in environments not designed for her, success finally met her halfway. She evolved into the kind of correspondent whose inherent warmth transcended the need for volume. It resonated directly with viewers on Good Morning America. She did not pursue the spotlight, she illuminated it. Viewers placed their trust in her steadfast presence, her instinct for humanizing every news item, her capacity to offer solace to the nation without uttering a word. By the late 1990s, millions were whispering, "She feels like family." In the realm of television, there is no greater honor. Then came 2005, the year destiny ceased its passive observance. ABC placed her in the co-anchor position of Good Morning America, one of the most demanding roles in American media. Robin would later confess that her hands trembled that initial morning as the floor director uttered the countdown, 5, 4. The studio lights beat down intensely on her skin. "Don't let this moment slip away," she told herself. "You fought too hard to reach this point." Working alongside Diane Sawyer and later George Stephanopoulos, she became the emotional pulse of America's mornings. Her laughter, her gentle demeanor, her empathetic engagement transformed GMA into a national ritual. Ratings surged. And in 2012, after 16 years in second place, GMA ascended to the #1 position. For the first time in her life, Robin allowed herself a private moment of relief. You've achieved it. However, what the audience remained unaware of was the price of that accomplishment. Robin's day began at 2:45 in the morning, stepping out into Manhattan's frigid pre-dawn as the city slept, her breath misting in the dark as she walked toward a studio that still held the scent of yesterday's coffee and the warmth of studio lights. "My alarm clock is the only witness to my mornings," she would joke. But the reality was a quieter ache. The relentless exhaustion, the constant scrutiny, the burden of steadying the nation during its most difficult hours, conducting interviews with presidents at sunrise, reporting on tragedies at midday, maintaining a smile through personal grief that she had no time to process. Some mornings she would gaze at her reflection in the makeup mirror under the harsh lighting, silently asking, "How much more can I give?" Yet she always gave more. America saw the smile, not the quivering exhalation that accompanied it. And as her influence expanded exponentially, so did her world. Oscars, the Indianapolis 500, Hannah Montana, Pitch Perfect 2, royal weddings, presidents, documentaries, awards, Peabody, Cheiron Kite, Ash, the Hall of Fame. By the 2010s, the woman who once wrapped herself in blankets to ward off the chill in a drafty apartment was earning upwards of $18 million annually and owned residences she had once believed existed only in picture books. But each upward step thinned the air. Prestige did not lessen the pressure, it intensified it. The higher she ascended, the greater the demand for perfection from GMA, emotional resilience, flawless composure, the ability to bear the weight of a nation mourning 280 people without her voice faltering. After the cameras ceased rolling, she would often walk alone to her car through deserted city streets, the adrenaline receding, whispering, "Lord, grant me the strength for one more day." She was not requesting success. She was pleading for the ability to endure. Because appearing day after day, year after year, was not merely a job for her. It was an act of profound service. And then, at the zenith of her career, when she seemed utterly invincible, life delivered its blow. A single, sudden, merciless strike, a fall from the heights she had dedicated a lifetime to scaling. And nothing within the studio, not even her legendary composure, could shield her from the ordeal that followed. It is profoundly distressing how a single day can cleave a life into distinct periods of before and after. And for Robin Roberts, that pivotal day arrived not with a resounding impact, but with a silence so heavy it felt as though the entire world had ceased to breathe. It was 2007, a year when every facet of her life appeared to be flourishing. Success, influence, the profound trust of millions. When he finally spoke, his words landed with the impact of a physical blow. "It's breast cancer." She would later describe the sensation as if the ground had vanished beneath her. But the truth was more devastating. It felt as though the meticulously constructed life she had built had dissolved with a single exhalation. Surgery encroached upon her vitality. Chemotherapy ravaged her from within. Clumps of hair slipped from her fingers in the shower. Her eyebrows faded. Food acquired a metallic taste. In early 2012, deep purple bruises started manifesting across her arms, like ominous warnings she did not yet comprehend, and an exhaustion settled into her bones with such profound heaviness that even breathing felt like lifting a great weight. Sitting in the examination room, she observed her physician's expression falter even before he uttered a word. That look alone, tinged with dread, conveyed everything. myelodysplastic syndrome, MDS, a rare and fatal failure of the bone marrow. At 49 years of age, she was not receiving a diagnosis. She was hearing a ticking clock. Her only recourse was a bone marrow transplant, a procedure that necessitated the complete destruction of her immune system, followed by a desperate hope for its successful regeneration. The mere thought left her breathless, and then a miracle she had not dared to envision presented itself. Her sister, Sally Ann, was a perfect match. "I cried before I even said yes," Sally Ann would later confess, for she understood she was not merely donating marrow, she was bestowing Robin's future upon her. When Robin publicly disclosed her condition on Good Morning America, the nation experienced the shock alongside her. And then something extraordinary transpired. Tens of thousands of viewers eagerly joined the Be The Match registry, causing a staggering 1,800% surge in sign-ups within a single day. It was as if America collectively extended its hands, refusing to allow her to face this battle alone. Even in her darkest hour, her suffering served as a catalyst, igniting a wave of hope across the nation. The transplant, performed on September 20th, 2012, did not commence with fanfare. It began with a stillness so sacred it felt as though the entire world had paused to bear witness to her fight for survival. "Please stay." It was as if she were speaking directly to the very hope that threatened to elude her grasp. But the true severity of the ordeal unfolded afterward. Isolation enveloped her completely for 100 agonizing days. No embraces, no comforting skin-to-skin contact, no reassuring hand to anchor her in the darkness. Nurses moved around her like distant phantoms, their faces obscured by masks, gowns, and gloves. Nights stretched into an eerie, profound silence, until suddenly they were shattered. Alarms would erupt without warning, their frantic beeping slicing through the quiet as her blood pressure plummeted, sending medical personnel rushing to her side in a battle waged second by second. Later, she confessed, "I didn't know if I'd ever say Good Morning America again." The mirror offered no solace. It reflected only a frail, pallid figure she barely recognized, a silhouette fading at the edges like a candle struggling against a gust of wind. Her blood counts began to ascend with a quiet stubbornness, as if the new marrow was learning the rhythm of her heartbeat and, cell by cell, choosing to fight alongside her. Her limbs steadied, her steps no longer felt like wading through water. Life, fragile yet tenacious, was re-establishing its hold within her very being. And then came February 20th, 2013, the day her narrative irrevocably shifted. After 174 days of isolation, fear, pain, and unseen struggles, Robin returned to the Good Morning America studio. The atmosphere transformed. Conversations ceased mid-sentence. Even the cameras seemed to lean in, sensing they were capturing something far more significant than mere television. She took her seat, the very seat she had once feared she might never occupy again. And the studio lights bathed her in a glow akin to a sunrise, earned through every ounce of her suffering. Her co-anchors watched her with glistening eyes, a mixture of astonishment and profound gratitude. And then came the moment that captivated the entire nation. "Good morning, America." Her voice was not loud. It did not need to be. It carried the immense weight of survival, the profound warmth of gratitude, the quiet power of a woman who had journeyed to the precipice of life and returned with unwavering grace. Those 3 words were not merely a greeting. They were a powerful declaration. I have triumphed. I am still here. My journey is not over. Across the nation, 6.1 million viewers froze, their coffee cups suspended halfway to their lips, their hands hovering in mid-air, families drawing closer to their screens. It was as if America itself had risen to welcome her home. It did not feel like a broadcast, it felt like a rebirth, a tangible miracle that served as a profound reminder to anyone grappling with illness, sorrow, loss, or dread that darkness does not hold ultimate dominion. She did not lament the discomfort. She did not rail against the setback. She simply inhaled, composed herself, and offered that familiar, unyielding smile as if to convey, "I've weathered worse. I remain standing." Her personal odyssey accomplished far more than simply preserving her life. It evolved into a beacon for anyone confronting an invisible struggle. The aging parent striving to maintain fortitude, the patient awaiting crucial news in a sterile waiting room, the solitary soul wrestling with loneliness in the somber hours preceding dawn. Robin demonstrated to them all that while the physical form may yield, may bruise, may falter unexpectedly, the spirit, when firmly anchored in bravery, possesses the capacity to ascend time and again, each emergence marked by greater radiance, steadiness, and resolve. She became living testimony that a resurgence is not a singular event. It is a conscious decision. A deliberate choice to rise again even when the world anticipates a fall. A conscious decision to radiate brilliance even when life dims the illumination. A deliberate choice to persist onward with tenderness, courage, and defiance, irrespective of the multitude of tribulations that have sought to break her. Her professional career and her physical well-being had subjected her to repeated trials. However, love tested her in ways that were profoundly more arduous. It commenced with a concealed burden she carried for the majority of her life. Robin Roberts found herself captivated by another woman, a truth she felt compelled to suppress. Her authentic self remained confined, her heart divided between apprehension and yearning, her identity shrouded in a silence so oppressive it felt physically damaging. Consequently, when she encountered Amber Lane in 2005, the mutual attraction struck her with a startling clarity. It was a blind encounter. Both women had nearly withdrawn, Robin depleted by fatigue, Amber nursing a fractured heart. Yet the instant they were seated, a palpable shift occurred. There was no immediate spark, no dramatic flare, merely a quiet acknowledgement, as if each had spent years in unconscious search of the other. Nevertheless, the open expression of their affection remained an impossibility. Robin inhabited the most prominent position in the public eye on the Good Morning America television program. Amber, by her own accord, preferred a more discreet existence. Thus, their devotion learned to flourish in clandestine affections, in coded exchanges, in stolen moments on weekends, and in private customs that momentarily suspended the external world before the return of reality. By their second meeting, clinking glasses filled with apple-lime martinis, they understood they had entered a realm of formidable and perilous intensity. The kind of affection that compels an individual to determine which facets of their being they are prepared to risk. However, the most significant hardship was not the concealment, it was the physical separation, the kind that gradually erodes a heart over the span of years. From 2005 to 2015, they resided on opposing coasts, Robin in New York and Amber in California. 10 years punctuated by airport terminals and hurried embraces. 10 years of solitary nights, of holidays fractured by travel, of birthdays experienced through screens. 10 years of cherishing someone whose hand you could not publicly hold. Robin harbored a profound fear of exposure which could jeopardize their shared existence. Amber dreaded the prospect of being rendered invisible. "I never desired to be her clandestine affair," she once confessed, not with animosity, but as a deeply held truth she had borne for too long. Robin absorbed this revelation like a weighty stone against her chest, torn between the demands of a public persona that expected her perfection and the woman who offered her solace. They experienced periods of rupture and reconciliation, divergence and return, conflict and absolution. Yet even at their most vulnerable, an unyielding force drew them back to one another. Because certain connections are not merely chosen, they assert their existence. And then arrived the years that illuminated the true essence of love when all else was stripped away. In the year 2007, breast cancer ravaged Robin's life with relentless ferocity. The world perceived her strength. Amber witnessed the agonizing hours that no camera would ever capture. She cradled Robin's head as her hair fell out. She provided support when chemotherapy rendered her weak. She wiped her face following bouts of night sweats, guided her trembling hands, and whispered reassurance through the fear Robin attempted so diligently to conceal. And when Robin emerged victorious from that battle, fate intervened with a more insidious adversary, myelodysplastic syndrome, MDS, in 2012. A diagnosis that felt akin to standing on the precipice of an unknown abyss. Amber spent long nights observing the flickering monitors, pressing her palm against the protective glass during periods of isolation when physical contact with Robin was forbidden. And then, as if cruelty demanded perfect symmetry, the year 2022 brought a calamity neither could have foreseen. Amber was diagnosed with breast cancer, the very affliction she had helped Robin overcome. Robin was shattered in ways she had never experienced before. "I was more resilient during my cancer than during hers," she admitted. Witnessing the person who had once been her savior walk into the same inferno represented a distinct form of devastation. Thus she remained steadfast, just as Amber had been for her, through chemotherapy, through fear, through every weary night, when Amber rested her head on her shoulder and whispered, "Don't let go." After 17 years of secrecy, separation, illness, and mutual devotion through every manifestation of hardship, truth finally necessitated the freedom to flourish. In an unassuming Mexican eatery bathed in warm light, and over a plate of calamari, they exchanged rings. Not symbols of immense value or ostentation, but a quiet affirmation, hard-won through nearly 2 decades of perseverance. Their wedding in the year 2023 was a sun-drenched affair, replete with tears, gentle melodies, cherished companions, and Lucas the dog, adorned in his bow tie, as if comprehending the profound significance of the occasion. There was no pretense, no performance, simply 2 women who had navigated immense adversity and remained steadfastly by each other's side. Today, in the year 2025, they have shared 20 years together. 20 years of distance and reunion, of illness and recovery, of silence and candor. A duration that would have fractured many unions, yet somehow forged theirs into something stronger. They have no biological offspring, but they embrace Sydney, Robin's goddaughter, and a home characterized not by flawlessness, but by enduring fortitude. Their bond is imperfect, scarred, inherently human, and unshakably authentic. At times, one may claw their way back to the realm of breath, only to lose the very individuals for whom they were fighting to remain alive. For Robin Roberts, the initial devastating blow arrived long before any diagnosis of cancer, long before the world ever witnessed her physical frailty beneath the stark glow of hospital illumination. It occurred in the year 2004 when her father, Colonel Lawrence E. Roberts, the man who instilled in her the very foundations of her character, her discipline, and her moral compass, passed away unexpectedly. A sudden cardiac arrest, swift and unsparing, claimed him from existence before she could even utter a farewell. Robin was in New York, engrossed in breaking news, utterly unaware that miles away in Mississippi, the most formidable man she had ever known was drawing his final breath. She later confessed, with a profound sense of guilt that permeated her very being, "I wasn't there. I didn't get to hold his hand." When she entered his silent room, the medals still gleaming on the wall, his uniform impeccably folded, his boots precisely aligned as if awaiting the morning's inspection, a part of her fractured. His voice, once firm and steady, resonated in her memory, urging her to stand tall. Yet for the first time, she found herself incapable of doing so. Grief does not simply dissipate, it settles deeply within. The loss of her father left an immense void within her, an emptiness that no accomplishment, no accolade, no broadcast could ever fill. She returned to Good Morning America only a few days later, compelled by the nation's need for her comforting presence. But each commercial break transformed into a private mourning, a stolen moment to allow the pain to wash over her in sharp, solitary waves. For 8 years she continued onward, clinging to her father's enduring mantra, discipline, determination, dedication, like a lifeline, repeating it silently in green rooms during car journeys and in hotel corridors, attempting to mend a wound that stubbornly refused to close. And beneath that wound lay a deeper ache, the unbearable realization that she had never bid him goodbye. She carried that sorrow through airports, studios, and sleepless nights, envisioning the conversations they never had, the embrace she withheld, the final glance she never witnessed. His absence was not a singular moment of loss. It was an echo she awoke to each morning, a silent presence beside her each night. It lingered. It persisted. It shaped her in ways the world would never perceive, a quiet shadow accompanying her through every triumph and every private moment when the stage lights dimmed. Just a few years after losing her father, while the wound was still raw and throbbing with every breath, fate delivered a second blow with a cruelty that felt almost vindictive. In the year 2012, as Robin braced herself for the most terrifying medical ordeal of her life, preparing for a bone marrow transplant following her MDS diagnosis, life intervened again, striking with greater force and sharper precision, as if determined to test the limits of a single heart's endurance. Her mother, Lucy Marion Roberts, the quiet architect of her spirit, the woman whose unwavering faith had always served as her anchor, collapsed. Her decline was not gradual. It was a precipitous freefall, brutal and merciless, as though the universe had conspired to seize the very individual Robin needed for survival at the precise moment she was fighting for her own existence. Robin lay in a New York hospital bed when the call pierced the room like a shard of glass. "It's your mother. Come home now." Still weakened from treatments, barely able to stand, she ripped out her IV, defied medical orders, and boarded a plane, her hands trembling so violently she could barely clasp them in prayer. By the time she reached Mississippi, Lucy Marion was fading. Her breath was shallow, her body fragile, yet her spirit remained fierce enough to await her daughter one last time. Robin held her mother's hand, the same hand that had once braided her hair and soothed her childhood anxieties, and watched as her mother gathered her remaining strength for a final, profound gift. Her voice was ethereal, broken, yet clear enough to etch itself into Robin's soul. "I'm proud of you, and I need you to be brave now." Hours later, with Robin's forehead pressed against hers, Lucy Marion slipped away. In that precise instant, the woman who had taught the world how to stand tall felt herself disintegrating from within. She had been fighting to stay alive. Now she had to contend with a grief so overwhelming it felt like another illness tearing through her. A dual war, two storms converging simultaneously, her body and heart breaking in tandem. She returned to New York for her transplant, moving, as she later described it, like I was walking underwater, each step heavier without her mother's voice beside her. She whispered their family prayer. Light, love, power, presence, into the sterile atmosphere, clinging to it through fever spikes, through night sweats, through moments when her fear eclipsed her pulse. The loss of her father had wounded her profoundly. But losing her mother at the very moment she was fighting for her own life nearly obliterated her. She had survived the diagnosis, the tests, the treatments. Yet, surviving heartbreak while her body fought to reconstitute itself was an experience of far greater brutality. And still, she rose, she rebuilt, she pushed forward with the strength of two lives behind her. Emerging from both losses, one swift and unforgiving, the other agonizingly timed, reshaped her. Grief became the steel in her spine, the quiet fire in her voice, the profound depth behind every word she uttered on air. And to this day, every time she looks into the camera and pronounces with reverence and defiance, "Good morning, America," she carries her parents with her, not as mere memories, but as the silent, empowering force lifting her each and every morning back into the light. Perhaps fate has consistently chosen to test Robin Roberts with a relentless succession of devastating blows, tragedies that strike in pairs, and a pervasive shadow known as cancer that has loomed over her life more significantly than any other adversary. And that cruel pattern revealed itself with stark and painful clarity on the day she lost Joel Siegel. Joel was more than a colleague. He was not merely a film critic possessing a recognizable laugh and a sharp wit. To Robin, he was family. The kind of rare companion forged in the hushed environs of early morning newsrooms. The friend who shared 4 o'clock in the morning coffees, who exchanged whispered jokes between segments, who could perceive the fatigue lurking behind her polished on-air smile and respond with unwavering support. Joel understood her in ways few others did. He saw the woman behind the anchor, the gentleness beneath the discipline. Their bond was not boisterous, it was steadfast. And in an industry that can be relentlessly demanding, steadfastness was paramount. However, in the year 2007, life began to unravel with alarming rapidity. Joel had been engaged in a protracted battle with colon cancer for years, confronting it with humor, even as pain constricted him like a tightening fist. Robin once remarked, "He taught me how to navigate the world with grace, even when it hurts." And indeed he did. He made appearances when others would have retreated. He shared jokes when others would have wept. He endeavored to shield his friends from the harsh realities of his suffering. But cancer possesses no mercy for grace. And one June morning, as Robin prepared for the broadcast, the call arrived, the kind that cleaves the world into a before and after in a single, heart-stopping moment. Joel was gone. The shock was so acute, it felt physically incapacitating. A silence so profound it felt like another presence in the room. During commercial breaks, she replayed their final conversations in her mind. The way he squeezed her hand, during challenging weeks. The way he teased her about her competitive spirit. The way he consistently reassured her, "We'll get through it, kid," with a confidence he did not always possess himself. She remembered the subtle tremor in his laughter when pain made humor more difficult to sustain. She recalled the sparkle in his eyes when he spoke of his son. These memories assailed her with the impact of an oncoming train, each one etching deeper into the stark reality that he was truly gone. And what rendered the grief almost unbearable was the timing, the cruel synchronicity that felt like fate mocking her. Robin had barely begun to comprehend Joel's absence when she detected something unusual, a small, hard lump beneath her skin. A faint whisper of dread she tried to dismiss, a fear she dared not articulate. The irony was particularly bitter. She had just lost her closest friend to cancer, and within weeks she found herself stepping into the same shadow. That overlap, that brutal echo, imbued Joel's demise with an even greater weight. His loss was not a distant sorrow. It was a preamble, a forewarning, a storm cloud that stubbornly refused to recede. She mourned him through sleepless nights, through quiet drives home, through moments on set when she almost turned to say something to him before remembering he was no longer there. She missed his wit, his grounding influence, his ability to make even the direst circumstances feel surmountable. And in those initial days of her own apprehension, she found herself contemplating what Joel would have advised her, how he would have steadied her shoulders, how he would have resolutely prevented her from spiraling, how he would have managed to elicit laughter from her, even on the most challenging days. Joel Siegel's passing did more than just break Robin's heart. Her net worth, estimated to exceed $55 million, represents the culmination of a lifetime dedicated to rising before dawn, carrying the nation's mornings upon her shoulders, and steadfastly refusing to allow setbacks to diminish her voice. Years of anchoring Good Morning America, producing acclaimed documentaries, authoring best-selling memoirs, and securing enduring contracts with ABC have culminated in the construction of a professional empire that most can only dream of. Her tangible assets paint a vivid portrait of a woman who has meticulously earned her comfort, not through ostentatious displays, but through decades of unwavering discipline and a lifetime devoted to early mornings. Her primary residence in Connecticut is far more than a dwelling. It is a sanctuary meticulously crafted with purpose. The modern farmhouse-style structure is situated on lush, meticulously maintained grounds, bordered by towering maple and whispering pine trees, affording her both privacy and seclusion. Expansive floor-to-ceiling glass walls seamlessly integrate the home with the surrounding natural beauty, allowing the rhythms of the seasons to flow through. Imagine winter snow resting softly on the branches, spring sunlight filtering through verdant canopies, and autumn transforming the entire property into a breathtaking tapestry of gold and ember. Inside, warm oak floors extend throughout the house, illuminated by subtle, recessed lighting that bathes every corner in a serene glow. The living room boasts soaring cathedral ceilings, exposed wooden beams, and a magnificent stone fireplace that Robin often ignites during her early morning journaling sessions. The kitchen, her favorite space within the home, is a bright, open area featuring marble countertops, high-end appliances, and a cozy breakfast nook where she and Amber share tranquil, intimate mornings. Outdoors, a thoughtfully tended garden unfolds behind the house, complete with stone pathways, vibrant flowering hydrangeas, and a secluded seating area where she walks her dog Lucas at sunrise, often pausing simply to inhale the stillness she spent a lifetime striving to attain. She also maintains a cherished retreat in Key West, Florida, a waterfront haven that evokes a distinct sense of escape. The house, painted in soothing coastal hues of white and seafoam blue, is situated mere steps from the ocean, where the rhythmic ebb and flow of the tide provide a calming serenade. Broad wraparound porches encircle the property, furnished with charming wicker chairs, gently swaying hammocks, and lanterns that cast a warm, amber glow as night descends. The interior is airy and bathed in sunlight, featuring wide plank floors, elevated ceilings, seashell-inspired decor, and soft linen fabrics that capture the gentle afternoon breeze. But the true heart of this coastal abode is the private dock extending into the crystal-clear water Robin's sanctuary. Here she spends evenings with Amber, watching as the sun dissolves into the horizon, the sky transitioning from soft peach to deep violet, as if the universe itself were repainting its canvas solely for them. On particularly demanding days, she retreats outdoors to sit by the water's edge, with Lucas curled contentedly at her feet, allowing the ocean's tranquility to soothe her racing heart. Every element of this home serves as a testament to restored peace, rebalanced equilibrium, and a life finally permitted to exhale. Her selection of vehicles reflects a preference for practicality over ostentation. A Cadillac Escalade provides comfort and safety, while a sleek Mercedes-Benz represents her sole, significant indulgence on wheels. Within her home, she possesses a carefully curated collection of luxury timepieces. These are small yet meaningful pieces, gifted or acquired in celebration of significant milestones, including a Rolex Oyster Perpetual, which she once stated served as a reminder: every second is borrowed. Every second is precious. Her wardrobe features garments from designers who have dressed her throughout her broadcast career, chosen not for vanity, but consistently for professionalism, presence, and purpose. She owns no private jets, no yachts, and no flashy recreational vehicles. Her most cherished possessions are serenity, solitude, and the life she diligently forged through sheer perseverance. Her current existence embodies a profound equilibrium, a cadence she previously lacked the fortune to experience. Though she still rises with the sun, the ungodly hour of 2:45 in the morning is a relic of the past. Now she indulges in unhurried mornings with Amber before venturing to her studio. She guards her well-being with unwavering vigilance, embracing invigorating strength training sessions, leisurely strolls with Lucas, nutrient-rich, plant-centric cuisine, calming meditation, and the whispered prayers her mother instilled, potent incantations of light, love, strength, and presence, uttered each dawn like protective armor. Her regular medical evaluations stem not from apprehension, but from a deep-seated gratitude for the life she fought so valiantly to reclaim. Her daily rituals are unassuming yet profoundly meaningful. Immersing herself in a book on the veranda, preparing meals alongside Amber, witnessing the breathtaking sunsets over Key West, and deliberately carving out moments for rest in a world that once relentlessly demanded she disregard her own physical and mental fatigue. Her countenance reflects the profound grace of a woman who has navigated numerous lifetimes within a single span. She appears vibrant, composed, and utterly resilient. Yet, even amidst her present comfort, her life is far from self-absorbed. Its influence extends generously outward. Robin's philanthropic endeavors are truly remarkable. She has been instrumental in raising millions for the Be The Match Foundation, directly inspiring thousands of new bone marrow donors through the powerful resonance of her personal narrative. Her continuous support fuels advancements in cancer research, provides crucial aid during disaster relief efforts, and champions educational initiatives. She generously funds scholarships bearing her parents' names, discreetly aids families facing severe medical crises, and leverages her influential platform to amplify the voices of those often marginalized. Recognition is never her pursuit. She simply gives. Her enduring legacy transcends mere survival. It is defined by her unwavering commitment to service and the far-reaching impact of a life lived with open-hearted vulnerability, remarkable courage, and unwavering purpose. Her personal odyssey continues to serve as a beacon for those grappling with their own private struggles, a potent reminder that true fortitude lies not in the absence of fear, but in the resolute defiance of its power to paralyze. In this current phase of her life, love remains her steadfast anchor. Amber's health is consistently stable, and their bond, forged over 2 decades of unwavering commitment, has deepened immeasurably, having weathered trials that would have undoubtedly fractured a less resilient union. Their home is a sanctuary of warmth, filled with shared culinary experiences, affectionate banter, tranquil evenings spent together on the sofa, conversations that linger long past midnight, and a profound mutual understanding cultivated through years of unwavering support for one another. Sydney, her goddaughter, infuses their household with youthful exuberance and infectious laughter, while Lucas, their devoted canine companion, offers an unparalleled loyalty that follows them everywhere. This is a family united not by traditional ties, but by the extraordinary power of love, a testament to the fact that happiness can be cultivated, restored, and rediscovered at any stage of life. If Robin's inspiring journey has resonated with you, sparked your own inner strength, or served as a poignant reminder of your own resilience, we kindly encourage you to express your appreciation with a like. This small gesture signifies your acknowledgement of a woman who has so generously shared her essence with the world. And on behalf of everyone here at Golden American Stars, we sincerely hope that your own life continues to be shaped by a profound sense of peace that calms the spirit, robust health that empowers you each morning, unexpected bursts of joy that brighten your days, and an abundance that arrives precisely when you need it most. May the days ahead unfold with greater gentleness than those you have already navigated. May your loved ones remain close and protected, and may every challenge you encounter serve as a catalyst for a future that is brighter, more tranquil, and more compassionate than anything your past has ever diminished.